This is Drop Tent Media Network.
Rolling.
We're back.
Sound speed. And action.
We're back again.
What's up? What's up? It's me, Jamie, on the 1s and 5s.
And it's me here on the 2s and 4s.
Sure.
Yeah. And we're back and we're dying up here still.
Please stop being weird about it.
Yeah. And
last time we ended abruptly because Neil surprised us.
Neil surprised us, and I want
with
to
something that we asked for.
I want to address the rumors.
Oh yeah.
Just to get ahead of it.
Please.
I know that people have listened to this podcast and they wonder, like, is Neil really, really bad at his job? Does he abuse us?
Is Neil AI? I've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
That's been in the comments.
Yeah. Is Neil an acronym that stands for something? It's a computer system.
People said, "Do you like Neil?" And I was like, "Can you like a robot?" No, we love Neil. He's doing exactly what we asked for.
Yeah, no, he's doing great. But he did put up
Both of us forget everything all the time.
Something that I asked for, which is that on a screen, he put up a little notepad so he can type to us without cutting us off. But I wanted to say that I had shared this idea with Jamie and Neil because of the Franklin Institute podcast that I hosted for years called So Curious, and it rules. But they had separate screens for both hosts, and we couldn't see the other, and they would message us different things.
Oh,
Like,
interesting.
not necessarily to talk shit. There was one chat that was whatever, but there would be times that they would be
They'd
like,
be like, "Hey, change the
cut him off." Yeah.
cut him off.
Or, like abort. Or can you repeat what you just said different? Like, sometimes it would just be to you so that you
Yeah.
weren't embarrassed in front of the other person. Like,
that's funny.
It was really interesting. It was so many possibilities for shit to be talked.
Have I told the story on here about my coworkers who, like, we would always ping each other, like, through GChat, and one of my coworkers had, like, photoshopped something and sent it to our friend who was in a one-on-one with our manager, and he was sharing his screen, and
No.
the manager was like, "Oh, what was that?" And what my friend had photoshopped was a tombstone saying, like, "R.I.P. Matt," like, still in his one-on-one or something, like something very specific, and he had to share his screen with that. I mean, I had something with my family one time. I was showing them photos from a trip on my computer, and I don't even know why or how this happened, but my iPhoto just went to, like, very private pictures, like, immediately. Like, it froze and then, like, went to, like, I guess it was probably, like, clicking through my favorites album to, like, show them stuff from the trip, and then all of a sudden it was just, like, and I just, like, slammed my computer. I was like, "Say it's not working right now," because it was just, like, 50, like, bikini photos or else.
It's like how in sitcoms, like, anybody somehow pulls up something embarrassing and, like, it's immediately being casted on the screens and you don't know how.
I didn't know how. I accidentally, speaking of, like, that, my phone was, like, on Bluetooth for the show I run on Friday, and I have nightmares about this, but, like, something happened with the sound or something, and truly it started playing music in the middle of someone's set. And
nightmare.
It was off on the soundboard. I don't even know, like, Spotify wasn't even up on my phone. I just, like, opened my phone, and the person, luckily, Cassandra G, shout out, took it amazing, rolled with it, and I was in another room, and she was like, "JB, you could have just asked me to leave." She just started, like, making fun of me. And I was
God bless.
Yeah.
My friend Sav in college, after college, took my headshot because I have, like, you know, like, so many of submissions that I send as an actor, especially, are just, here's my headshot and resume, and they're just two things on my saved a picture that I had been using for years to make people's backgrounds on their laptop, but it's just a photo of, you know, Nunu from the Teletubbies. He's the vacuum.
Okay.
Can you pull up Nunu, Neil? N-U-N-U. He's the vacuum with, like, the long nose and the googly eyes. And so one time Sav and I were singing. We had to sing at an event. We had to sing a duet. And it was this big, like, corporate event. Yeah. That first one is the one that I always use. And we had our sheet music up on and we're in front of, like, thousands of people, and it's a business. We had our sheet music up, and I printed the sheet music, and I also printed a picture of Nunu so that when Sav flipped to the next thing, and bless you, oh my God.
Were you doing a Nunu impression?
Neil, are you not getting enough attention? Yeah. He's like,
He hates his story.
he's like, I have a nose too. So that when Sav flipped the page as a prank in the middle of the performance, they would have to see this picture of Nunu. But then they went on my computer and they downloaded that and saved it as Kirsten Michelle Cills headshot, which is what my headshot is saved at, and put it in the folder. So I more than once sent it as an attachment with my resume. And then I had to respond back and be like, please ignore the photo of Nunu. This is my real headshot.
Have you, like, people, especially during the pandemic, but still, like, signed, like, logged in for Zoom meetings, like, after having done, like, a Zoom with friends, and, like,
as a
their
joke.
name is, like, something
Insane, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Sav did screw me, although I realized it because I clicked on it. Because you know how, like, you don't see a preview unless you embed it in the email?
Yeah.
Everyone was cool about it, though. I only accidentally sent it twice, but it was to theater companies, and they're they don't have a good sense of humor.
I've copied and pasted, like, a sexy pic and almost sent to my mom. I did, actually. The most recent one, I was sending I meant to send to the manager of a venue I run a show at. Luckily, someone I'm friendly with, and we were texting, but I was confirming with him, like, something on the flyer, and I sent him a screenshot that should not have seen the light of day. And I immediately had to, like, respond as professionally still as I could, because I was, like, getting a deal done for the show, saying, please disregard, because I did it fast enough that I could unsend it on iMessage, but it said, like,
Unsend.
Person may not have updated, so may still
or on their computer or their watch, yeah. Yep.
So I had to say, please disregard any image sent above, whatever. And then I drunkenly, of course, had to be like, he claims he didn't see anything.
Okay.
But I immediately called another manager there who I've known for years. And was like, and he just started crying laughing. And he was like, this is the worst person to do it to. Like, 'cause it was just someone that's, like, very awkward. And I was like, ugh.
Isn't it always, though? Yeah. All right. So I think we left off on some things we want to lay to rest and resurrect in the spirit of death. Yours was a lay to rest, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then I will do one of my lay to rests. So I have a couple. I'm sorry if this is niche, but I think everyone understands. I don't think this is just if you work in theater or performing, you have to know this. But, like, it's kind of like this, like, almost a joke at this point about when people are trying to roast you, but they're trying to come off like they're just giving critique. And they go, and in theater, like, someone would do something, and then someone would be like, it's a choice. You made a choice, right? But then, and that was the original one. But then the new one that people would say all the time in theater school, and it drove me fucking crazy. And it's always, like, artists who talk like this. Even if you're, like, a painter. Like, Neil, I'm sure in art school you had the same thing where it's like.
Neil's backstory.
Yes. We can't give them more Neil lore. They have to pay for that on the Patreon. If they didn't like the scene, or, you know, you wrote something, they don't like it, they'll go, I'm curious about blank.
Ooh.
And I would love to take I'm curious about.
You're not curious.
And I would like to throw it into the fucking stratosphere, because it is 100% prescriptive, because the way they'll phrase it is like, let's say you wrote a scene where a character breaks up with her boyfriend, right? And then, like, that's the main element, right? And someone would be reading the scene, and then when they'd go around for their critique, they'd be like, I really loved the scene, except I'm curious about why she was being such a cunt. And you're like, so you're just, where's the curiosity? How can I help you? You just simply don't like the scene or whatever. So I'm really done with the skirting thing. Especially because it's so
much more mean than talking about, like,
it's so much meaner because you're trying to make yourself look good while you do it.
Hey, I don't understand this choice. Hey, I don't understand why this scene went this direction. I don't see the connection here to here. And you had to just then prove your writing or prove what it meant to you. You would get to the place so much quicker of, like, should we cut this or not? Or get to the place of, like, oh yeah, that doesn't move the plot. Or this is why I think it moves the plot. Because then you could get to the disagreement faster too. The person not seeing it like that.
Agreed.
But just saying, like, I'm wondering about this. I'm curious about, are we going with this?
The choice you made.
This is for you?
It was a choice.
This is happening.
You made a lot of choices. And
it's like when you ask a friend to go to dinner or something, they're like, yeah, that place is okay. You're like, just tell me you don't like it.
Have you
Pick
been there
another
before?
place.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Oh, you've gone there? We're going. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that's good.
And you enjoyed it. Well, then we'll go.
Yeah.
And I think what pisses me off is not so much that it's shit talking.
You enjoyed it.
And you enjoyed your time and your food was, you swallowed it.
Oh, you like that type of menu? Oh.
Oh, yeah. See, I was confused because when I like to eat food that is good, but if you don't we each
No, it's always good when a chef's trying new things every week.
It's really experimental, right? Another thing they would say in theater all the time. But like I think what pisses me off the most, I think the core of this anger is coming from the fact that you're trying to talk shit while hiding that you're talking shit because you don't want to seem like you're somebody who talks shit. And it's like,
and neither of which,
as you always say it with your chest.
Yeah, neither of which moves the project forward.
Agreed.
So you're lying to yourself if you're even saying like you think you're making the project better. Because if it's a collaborative experience, like you have to be able to be like, hey, I want this to be better, and I'm not understanding this part.
And you're not fooling anyone. We all know you're talking shit. Like when someone even says, I mean, I'm curious about became the new like piggybacking off of or like circling back to this like in corporate speak, right? Like
each of my friends has like a tell where I know they're beating around the bush about something. And I'm like, just say it. Say it. It's like not a big deal.
What's
so
my
funny.
tell?
We don't really do
That's
that.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, your tell is using, I'm fine.
I'm trying to avoid you. Just like, I'm in the hospital, sorry.
Yeah. I was like, you don't have to tell because it's just like, you just saying you're fine or something vague.
Yeah. I also don't.
Which also means you don't want to talk about it, which is different than like
Agreed.
beating around it where you need to say something.
Agreed. Also, I love that I know that the microphone can just like hear me wheezing. That is what it sounds like.
I can also hear my stomach gurgling.
When you have cystic fibrosis, my dad used to say I sound like a lion or Darth Vader, and I think both are true. That like, if you like put your hand on my chest, you can like feel me like literally vibrating. Because that's how full my lungs are.
Hey, Neil, can you lower this so everyone can hear my belly growl so I have something to talk about?
Jamie's like, you can hear my heart broken because my dad died.
Yeah. Do you guys hear that? Nothing.
Frozen.
Nothing. You're
I just
really
wanted
giving people a 4D experience of the podcast.
I know. I just wanted to address it because I get so used to it that I forget. And there's times that like I have had friends for years and then I've been like, put your hand on my chest while I breathe. And they're like, oh my God. And I'm like,
taking care of kids that like either had asthma when they're really little, and because kids are so small, their lungs, like they just sound like that. And
their
if you,
lungs
like,
fill up
hold them,
so
it's,
quick.
like, it's disgusting. And just like, are you okay? Like, I don't even know what to do with this.
Oh, actually, you know what? I'd like to, circling back, piggybacking off of your what's killing you this week. I meant to say this because I don't want to timestamp this as we often talk about, but specifically because it's...
Sorry, I broke your microphone.
It's a time... What'd you fucking do?
I thought I broke it.
Okay, well, welcome back to Dying Up Here, hosted by Kirsten Michelle Cills and Kirsten Michelle Cills only. Jamie's been removed.
Guys, if you're listening to audio only, we're just kidding. I'm here.
If you could see us right now, we're smiling ear to ear. We're having a blast. So...
You're circling back to My Late Arrest, which technically will have aired last week.
That would have been last week. And all of this will have been actually
this week in recording life.
8 weeks ago in reality. Who knows?
Yeah.
But so I don't want to timestamp this because of the fact that it's currently a secret, but won't be by the time this comes out, right? This is always like 4 weeks away-ish.
You keep talking and I'll figure it out.
Okay. So my two best friends who are married to each other, I gave this both speeches at their wedding for both of them.
Did you do like a...
Yeah. I just like they have bet
Again, for the audio only, I did a
Jamie did a Harvey Dent
where I was trying
split.
to explain, I guess, like a Tobias Harris kind of thing.
Yeah. And
Tobias Harris? Oh my God, I did not mean Tobias Harris. I meant Tobias from Arrested Development.
Funke.
Tobias Harris, also Two-Face. JK, whatever.
Yeah, we would die for you. Please come on the pod, Tobias. But so my two best friends, who I spend arguably every day with, or whatever, they are having a baby, and they're going to be able to tell soon. But I know right now, and I have been.
How long are they waiting to tell people?
12 weeks, like you're supposed to, but they're like 9 right now.
Okay.
But they told me at like 3, at 3, because it was like, she's not doing a shot. What's wrong?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said her name. Can you bleep out the name? Thank you. that dumb bitch isn't doing a shot. What's wrong with her? And I have a couple friends that have kids.
Do they live in the suburbs?
No, they live here. They live,
Oh.
They, used to live right down the street from me before I moved. They bought a house though this past year. Like they're ready. He has a regular job. She works in performing, but she's gonna take time off and stuff. But it is jarring, obviously, because like
Jardians.
it is Jardians. If we're not sponsored by Jardians by the end of this, no, they're gonna hate us. We're gonna get sued by Jardians.
I'm sorry. It is jarring that.
It's jarring that they. I don't know. It's like I have friends who, I have like maybe 2 friends that have had a kid that like are close friends, but I didn't really necessarily know all of them like when we were younger, Like some of them were like
I see.
friends that I met as an adult. They were already married or something when I met them. So it's not as jarring, Like for example, our friends Casey and George who are married, but I met them already married. So when they have kids, it's not going to be as jarring to me as like I'm sure their high school friends will feel about the whole like, oh my God, But I was thinking about this, and then I was thinking about this would maybe be a better screenplay idea than I hope it's not actually true in reality. But like, she said something about like, oh, well, we're going to get all the genetic testing done. And I was like, can you imagine like my 2 best friends who I gave the joint speech at their wedding have a kid with CF and I can never meet their kid? And our entire friendship is just basically over at that point.
Cut this if need be, but they would have gotten the genetic testing prior to figure that out.
If they're both carriers.
Right.
But they're doing the testing to see if the baby...
Right, so they would know already if they had the highest chance, right? Because you said both, like, have to be carriers, and then it's still a 25% chance?
Exactly, yeah. So, but they didn't do any genetic testing to, like, see if they're carriers specifically. I mean, most people don't, and also they weren't trying at this exact moment to have a kid, right? But I was just like, I never thought about the fact of if someone I love has a kid, because, like, again, anybody who knows what CF is immediately as I say it, it's often because they're a parent of a young kid, so they recently learned about it because they...
Can you meet the baby through a window?
Yeah, right. Exactly. I guess I could.
I had to meet a baby through a window during COVID.
Yeah, right. I was like, that would be actually wild, right? Or like, my brother, Brad, like really, he loves kids. He wants to have kids. And it's like, what if Brad had a kid with CF? Like, I could just never meet them? Like...
Well, we're supposed to die, so I don't really...
Yeah, that's true. And Brad's going to med school, he just told us. So
he's never...
He's not going to have kids until he's 35.
Well, it's going to be like my stepdad who didn't get... Yeah, my stepdad like didn't get married until he was like, 38?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not...
If not
especially
older.
now, it's very common. But thank you for getting rid of Nunu with the vacuum.
But it's a sad thought. Statistically, I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen either. But again, it was just... I was like, it's probably just a better screenplay idea than it is an actual concept. But it made me sad.
Producer and friend, Neil Wood here. Brief commercial break.
Hey, hold right there. Don't dare skip this. This is an important message. Me and my boy, Albert Davis, we want to tell you about our podcast, Seriously Dad. Albert, why should they listen?
Because it's the best podcast in the world. It's by 2 comedians who are dads. And you know what we're talking about? Being dads. It's called Seriously Dad. Check us out on social media at Seriously Dad Podcast. And...
anywhere you get your podcast, that's where we're at. We're funny. We got some great guests coming our way. We cover the topics you want to hear. Check us out.
I do have one more late arrest, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, please.
Okay. And I don't think you're going to like this one.
Probably not. That's my late arrest. When people tell me I'm not going to like something before they say it, it's something that chills me.
Imagine I started off and I was like, I have a late arrest. Jamie, take a deep breath.
Yeah. It's when people tell me I'm not going to like something, I'm like, yeah, because you just put me in a bad mood.
Relax. I know you're going to freak out. No. I just mean you won't identify with this one. This is more of a me thing.
A pussy eater thing.
Yes.
Go for it.
I am...
bisexual. We get it. Next.
Dying bisexual.
Yep.
An actor.
I'm sorry. You're a school graduate.
Actually, the next thing that would probably likely come onto that list is actually what I'm about to say, which is about horror.
diehard horror fan. Like, horror is my life. I have a tattoo of it.
Horror is my life, and
My
I have
uniform on stage, like a horror t-shirt, like skirt.
every day, and that's all true. And I have recently started filming, like making a YouTube channel of like me talking about horror, like horror reviews, horror whatever. Like, and because I realized, like, when I talk to people who say they're also diehard fans, and then I realize I'm just like, they're like, oh my God, like it's my autism. Like anyone, I'm like, oh yeah, I saw that in the behind the scenes feature. And so I was like, I just want to, it's my passion and I really love it. I love comedy, but I need a break. And I want to build something that I can do even when I'm sick, you know, like I don't have to be live to do it. But with that.
Like you could be dead.
Yeah, exactly. I can be dead and still do it haunted.
Ooh, spooky.
But with that, I realize how many people, it's kind of like, you know, the thing in the world where there's like a thing people reference and it's from so long ago, you know, like people reference us throwing snowballs at Santa and you're like, in the 50s? Like, have you met a Philadelphian recently? You know? And for me, it's like the way that people talk about horror, every single person talking about horror is talking about the early 2000s horror, which was famously, of all the times, the worst time for horror in history. It was like, they were making PG-13 horror, which is already an oxymoron and I hate. They were making remakes of everything. House of Wax with these, like, if you remember the House of Wax remake in 2005, Paris Hilton was in it.
Chad Michael Murray.
Yeah, Chad Michael Murray. Jared Padalecki from Gilmore Girls. Paris Hilton was in it. They were trying to, like, get teens out, right? It was PG-13 again, just to get teens involved. And it is famously the worst time for horror in history, other than the 80s, which was, like, the Friday the 13th era. The teens having sex and getting
slashed. I was just going to say sexy spooky.
Yeah.
It was like, sex is scary.
Yep. And then it was when they
These
stopped.
people are hot, but they're getting murdered for almost dry humping.
She's so scared her nipples are going to be so hard in this film.
Why
but
is this guy going to kill me? I have my underwear on.
No. But what I can't stand is, like, anyone who has seen any horror in the last 10 years, like, what that tells me when anyone says that, like, oh my God, I just don't like slasher stuff. Like, I just don't like people. I'm like, that no new horror is that. Like, you're thinking of Friday the 13th, where, like, in that, I'll keep this brief. I'm not going to nerd out about it, horror history, but, like, in the 80s is when they started realizing they were getting better feedback about, instead of us rooting for the characters, like a final girl who, like, you know, Sydney in Scream, she's in all the movies. Instead of doing that, we're going to have characters who we don't even really learn their name, and the main guy we're following is the killer. And then we have a franchise because we love to see the killer work. We don't care who these people are, so we don't care when they die. And in fact, we enjoy it. We're like clapping. We're like, good kill. But that's why it was such bad, non-intellectual horror. And it's like, I know that now with A24, we get pretty heady with horror. I know you talked about watching I Saw the TV Glow, which was, or hardly watching.
Is that considered horror?
It is. It's covered on horror pods that I listen to. It's a what they call it.
My thing was when I like had an opinion about not liking it, everyone was like telling me I'm dismissing the queer experience. Like when I read reviews, and I was like, or I just didn't like a GD movie. You're
like, I can be homophobic and unrelated. Hated that movie.
Separately,
they're
like,
separate thoughts.
I gave the movie a shot because I liked what I read and saw about it, and then I saw it and was contemplating leaving the entire time.
Yeah, yeah, and like there's. Have you heard the term like elevated horror?
No, but I hate it.
It's like the way that people. I would say it probably started with the Babadook in 2014, and then I would say 2017 Get Out came out, and that was
where it's like more mental.
Yes, but what it means is, like, even if it's still scary, even if it is still a slasher, it has substance. The characters are fleshed out, and so
I think that's what people mean when they're like, I don't like horror because they think there's no plot. They think there's no movie, and you're just like watching 90 minutes of like.
And that's why I'm always like,
more spooky sex.
Yeah, spooky. It's also the bed. The bed springs. Yep. But like, exactly, that's the kind of stuff they're thinking of. And the term elevated horror, I get what they're going with, but it's almost a little insulting to horror in general, being like, no, this is good horror. And it's like, I would say pretty much any modern film I've seen has been.
Unfortunately, it is like how people talk about comedy too.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I don't do slapstick. Well, I don't do that. Like, I don't do that. I'm not prop. Like,
But I'm not
everyone,
like a
looks
prop
on-
comic.
No, like my stuff's a little bit more heady. Like my stuff's a little bit more.
They're thinkers, yeah. And it's
Like,
like
where do when I did a show at the casino, the guy was like, oh, asking for
I
anything
tell this
about the
story a
crowd.
lot.
Pause for a second.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of lost. Can we just recap what the laid arrest is from your perspective? Sorry, we got off on a little bit of the horror thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get a clear.
Yeah, thank you.
understanding.
Me either.
So, yeah, my late arrest is the people talking about horror movies and using 80s slashers or early 2000s at the worst ones as a catch-all for.
It's like a lot of people generalize like anything where like, oh, I don't like that. And even if it's a comedy, they're like, oh, I don't like going to, I'm like, when's the last time you've been to a comedy club? Mm-hmm. Immediately melt on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's okay to not know what you don't know. Like, I would never say like, I would say I don't gravitate towards horror, but I'm not like against it. Because I don't even know, like I just had to ask you about that movie. Like, is that considered horror? Like, I don't know what else would be considered. But then some of them, like, especially like M. Night Shyamalan, people will say like that scared them, but is that horror or is that drama, suspense? Like, what are we?
And that's a common question because with thrillers and horrors is the best way I ever heard it described was the difference between a horror and a thriller is the suffering, watching suffering.
See, but like
thrillers, people can die, like get shot.
I would say like 27 Dresses is a horror movie then.
See, I would agree with that. Yeah, I would also
Like-
say, much like my joke about Mamma Mia being a gay movie, or whatever, that's a gay movie.
Yeah.
There's no gay people in it, but it's a gay movie.
Gay movie.
Yeah.
27 Dresses is horrifying. There's cheating, there's lying, there's like devastation.
Exactly.
And you're on the edge the whole time because it's like so cringe. And
Yeah.
you're like, I don't even know who falls in love in the movie at this point. I'm just like, everything about her life is like so inside out and everyone's lying all the
James
time.
Marsden falls in love with one of the dresses, I think. One of the dresses is the main character,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. It's like a taffeta
Yes.
pink. Yeah, that's what I thought.
But like he gets it altered and then it's like,
And then she's beautiful again. Yeah. The dress takes off her glasses and she
Yeah.
was hot the whole time. So that's my late arrest is I need if you're a pussy, just say so. If you're scared of horror,
I mean,
that's
that can
fine.
wrap up, honestly, all of our conversations is like anything. It's just like, just say it. You're otherly. The rest is the same thing of like saying like, oh, I'm curious, but like, just say it. So just say the
it.
thing.
Say
Say
it.
what you're saying.
For the people in the back,
Say what you're saying.
I actually couldn't hear you. Yeah.
I'm looking for a
that's my late arrest.
specific note I have on my phone, but I just, I was trying to think of like a positive one because like my late arrest was like everything I kind of said the last recording was kind of dark. So I'm like, oh, what's something fun? I think, what was I thinking about? Oh, this isn't fun.
Okay. Perfect. Bring it up.
I love living in South Philly because my neighbors have decorations for every holiday. I've definitely talked about this. But Valentine's Day specifically, the amount of decor that some people have for Valentine's Day rivals their Christmas decorations.
It's
and I think
insane.
that's something that should be brought back. I love doing Valentine's Day. You know, people get so weird about it. I was single for a very long time and I still love Valentine's Day because it's just like candy, fun, silly love. Like, like, there's like nothing. People get so weird. I was like, if you're in a good relationship, you don't go out on Valentine's Day anyway because it's actually like the worst night to go out.
Right,
And
the actual,
reservations and like restaurants do like prefix meals and it's like everyone around you like either about to fight or fuck and you're like, get me out of here.
It's very true because I think there's a lot of people who their one date night a year is Valentine's Day.
Can you
like,
imagine all that pressure on one night?
No, I can't.
Like someone recently asked me, they were like, oh, what are you and Josh doing for Valentine's Day? I was like, I don't really know. It's like, we're going on a nice dinner this week and then we have this plans next week. They're like, yeah, but, and I was like, I don't know what day of the week it is generally.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if my relationship rides or dies
I'll
on.
say you don't know what day of the week it is. Jamie texted me this morning. Today's a Tuesday. Jamie texted me, asked if I wanted to go to Wine Wednesday tonight. I didn't have the heart to tell her.
Literally later, I was like, I said to Josh, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to Wine Wednesday with Kirsten, so we'll see you later. And he goes, tomorrow? You'll see me tomorrow? And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, tonight. And he's like, you could go there, but I won't be there. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then it hit me and I was like, oh, it's Tuesday.
I was trying to do that prank on you, like, where's our Kirsten talks about the office bell when Jim makes Dwight think it's Friday, but it's Thursday, so he misses work the next day.
But also, like, I'm now working during the day. Like, I should know what day it
no,
is.
that's fair. Yes, because you have a schedule to look at. Yeah,
But I still don't. It
Yeah.
just keeps it rolling.
I agree with Valentine's Day though.
Just like bring back little cutout decorations, more sustainable and less confetti because it's not good for birds, not good for the environment. But just some like cutie, like my neighbors have all their little hearts in it, and like it doesn't
very
have to
South
be
Philly
so
thing.
dramatic. Yes, it's so old school. Like it just like looks like 1996 in everyone's windows.
Yeah, and like
like-
the paper like cutouts of like when it's like St. Patrick's Day and stuff too, and you're just like, oh my god, like I love this.
Well, yeah, I just don't get when people stop having fun with their decorations.
Agreed.
Like, also people that go all out for Christmas and like nothing else. I'm like, you can make your house fun all year round
All
if
the
you want
time,
to.
yeah.
I think I'm bringing back fun.
Okay.
All my bringing back, like my Resurrects always come back to like something so simple where it's like, shut up, have fun. That's it. Quit being a pussy.
Shut up, have fun, respect birds.
That's
Both
it. Honestly,
birds in the
respect
sky.
environment. There's people that throw confetti at tailgates all the time. Like I know tailgates like obviously get dirty on so many other levels.
Those
like,
are for the other birds, baby.
but,
Go birds.
Yeah, and I was gonna say like there are sustainable ways to do confetti, which like it sounds insane, but there is sustainable confetti. But and like they at least sweep up the parking lots, and the Eagles do have one of the greenest stadiums in the NFL. But sometimes I'm just like, we're dying. I'll let this girl have a little fun. Maybe some bird will use, because then if you go walk in FDR Park,
Yeah.
the birds have a lot of nests have like balloon trash in them. Like, well, they'll use positively, they'll use the string and like twine from like balloon bunches.
Oh, okay, cool.
I've seen in their nests where they like use
Nature's
it to
healing.
build. Well, and then I was like, well, just take over, you guys. Like, you're gonna evolve faster than us. Just take it over.
Oh, big time.
And I was just like, there should like things are good. Also,
Okay.
check out the ice dinosaur exhibit at the Academy of Natural Sciences.
I got my family tickets for us to go. Like we did like an experience as a Christmas gift, and I got us ice dinos because I was over the frickin' moon when I saw it was coming. I
You should-
love ice dinos.
High recommend. That's it. That's if I keep going, I'll never stop.
Also, I just wanted to say that
You like my sweater? Thanks.
I do like your sweater. I actually do. I never see you in like that salmon color. I feel like
Me either.
Yeah, I like
Had
it.
it for a while.
We are coming up.
Speaking of
Speaking of
Valentine's
Day, our 1 year anniversary is going to be Valentine's Day because the first day
Wow.
we ever recorded was Valentine's Day.
Who knew?
Yeah, I know.
A year?
A year. Where is the time gone?
What are we gonna do? A mega roast of Neil in his house?
I think we should roast.
Studio?
I think we should dress as each other
Okay.
and then roast basically ourselves because we're just dressing as each other.
Ugh, I'm jealous of your outfit already. You're gonna be so much comfier
I'm
than
gonna be
me.
so comfy, and you're gonna be in the sluttiest little.
I'm just gonna be like spread eagle. Just kidding.
Okay,
Wow,
I
that's
do
fun.
have a resurrect though. I don't know. Do you?
Yeah,
have a resurrect?
resurrect.
Go
No,
ahead.
just mine's just having fun and
Having fun.
decorating your house.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. It was the yeah.
Yeah, just decorating sustainable confetti.
My resurrect is I would like to bring back. And this is gonna sound like vague, like everyone says this, but like I have more definitive reasons. But I would like to bring back using basic human reasoning when thinking.
Hold up, I'm gonna cut you off. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I would like to.
Nah.
I would like to bring back using basic human logic and reasoning,
Nah.
putting on our thinking caps, if you
Nah.
will. I would like to put on our thinking caps for 1 minute because I think it's a really great thing in society when we started being like, well, there are exceptions to everything, right? There are people, I think I've said this on here before, but about how, like one of the ways that I learned in a psych class about autism signs in young kids is like, it's that the thing in your brain where like you don't understand that there is exception, right? So like
Me.
the example they gave us was like you stop at a red light. You stop at a red light. But if there's an ambulance behind you and they're honking, there's no one else coming. You can go through the red light. But like if you had trouble with that, and that's a different part of like your brain does not process it the same way, you literally can't see how you could possibly break that rule, right? And so my point of this is like, I get that like we are being so much more understanding and accepting about the fact that there are many neurodivergent people out there.
Too far. We went too
we
far.
overcorrected because we're giving
Elon
people.
Musk is not autistic.
We started letting people now not build the skill at all who are not neurodivergent, right? Because then it's just like, well, you can't. Because we'll be like,
people stop parenting.
You can't make a rule that everyone can do that because not all kids can do that. And it's like, but those who can, like the way I was equivocating it was like, someone could be like, I can't run a mile. And like, what it means is like, you can, but you'd have to work at it.
Yeah.
I like physically, I was born with a thing that makes it so that I cannot, right? And so therefore it's like, that's the same thing with like, I can't use basic social cueing versus like, I never learned and I never put much work into it. And now I get this free pass of like, well, there's people in the world who are neurodivergent, so we need to let everybody stop having social cueing. And it's like, no, that's a medical issue as opposed to you just don't want to learn how to be a human being. And it's very frustrating to see. And I also know we were stuck in a pandemic for a while and people who were growing at that time.
But the thing is, the reason we diagnose stuff is so people can work on it and like assimilate better and have the resources they need. I always say this about Gen Z. It's like, you don't just need a diagnosis, you need solutions. Like the diagnosis, calling yourself whatever you want is not a pass to be an asshole.
Yeah. And yeah, so that's mine is like,
so
it's like saying that if you hated apples, like you think they're gross and you're like, I cannot eat apples. And it's like, you could, like, you don't like them, whatever. I am allergic, right? Or whatever it may be. And it invalidates the shit out of people who actually are neurodivergent, actually are autistic or whatever, when we all just act like...
It's even like I feel about misophonia. People are like, oh, I hate chewing sounds or like whatever, where I'm like, I actually threw food at my stepdad till we had to change how we eat dinner.
Because of misophonia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've said things like out of my mind if someone's making a mouth noise near me.
Yeah,
because I have to quit my restaurant job because of people drinking coffee in the morning.
Well, I am
like I'm going to do something that's going to get me fired.
My overstimulation, my worst overstimulation thing, like will not get me in a worse mood, and I don't always realize it because it's kind of white noise a little. The fan above the oven.
So loud. Why is it the loudest thing? Why does it sound like every person that lives in China, India, and the U.S. combined are talking at the same time?
At the same time at me, and they all want responses. That's how I feel.
In all their respective languages.
Yeah, all their respective languages. And they're asking me about string theory and quantum physics. I hate the big light. The big light is one of my big things, like a fluorescent light, like turn on some fucking lamps or switch your bulbs and make them warmer.
Yeah.
But nothing compared to, the mood I get in is unfixable. Like I need to take a nap after, and
once
like it's crazy.
Once the fan's off, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and you don't. That's what I mean. You don't quite realize it at the time, but I'm like, oh, I wasn't furious and being the biggest cunt that has ever lived in Philadelphia. I just the fan was on. And all of a sudden, I literally couldn't remember that I loved anyone or that there's good in the world.
Oh, sorry, guys.
No, we're good. I do have to go.
No, you're okay.
I have a hard stop, you guys. I gotta go.
We have a hard stop. Jamie's got to go turn on the fucking the lamp.
Oven fan?
Yeah. She's got to turn on the fan so I can go kill myself. All right. Well.
Jeez, OP.
Sorry.
All right. Merry Christmas. See you for our 1 year soon.
Yeah, we'll see you guys for our 1 year. And from the bottom of my heart, with everything I am, go Birds.
And follow us on social media.
Hey, producer Neil Wood, subscribe now to the Dying Up Here podcast at Dying Up Here Pod on YouTube. And make sure to follow Kirsten and Jamie on all the stuff. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. Hey, how you doing? This is Neil Wood, one of the co-owners of Drop 10 Media Network and who helps run Biggest Little Comedy. You can check out all the other stuff we do at drop10.com. We've got podcasts, live comedy shows, and so much more. Go over there, support your favorite podcasts, follow them, subscribe. We appreciate it. Again, we're 100% DIY, just a bunch of creatives trying to make it in this, and give us some feedback. We always enjoy a little feedback. Thanks.
This has been a Drop Tent Media production.